Well. Fancy seeing you here, you filthy animals. You Wednesday warriors. I had something on my computer I had to push away. Happy friggin' Wednesday, everybody. We're halfway through the week already. What happened? There we were, enjoying the weekend glow of, Sunday, Monday, and bam. It's all gone. In the meantime, you're checking the channel and you're like, what the hell? Where's all the content, Rolls? I'm making it, okay? It's coming. It's on the way. Right now, I am in the middle of producing the next Steel Snobs content. That's right. The very next Steel Snobs content is being edited as we speak, but I mean, not really as we speak because I'm terrible at multitasking. But that's what I was doing last night. That's what I'm doing tonight. That's what I was doing the night before. Steel Snobs content takes a lot of time to make. It does, because it's not just an over-the-head shot, react to a knife, and call it a day. It's more involved. And the funny part is that I have absolutely no idea if it's actually even going to be successful. It could flop. I could spend all of this time, and it could flop. It's true. Camera. It could flop, guys. It is what it is. And an important lesson that I've learned over the now 11 episodes of Steel Snobs content that I've made is that the most important part is making it the best piece of content that I can and something that I can be proud of regardless of how well that content performs. Because otherwise, it could just be depressing. That's on the way. I'm aiming to have that out. Sorry. I'm still getting over that cold. I'm about 95% of the way there. But the most important part is to make it something that I'm proud of. It's kind of like the channel's legacy content. That's why I spend so much time and effort. When I do a Steel Snobs episode, I want to make sure that it's good. At the very minimal, it has to be a good episode that I feel proud of. So that's why it takes me so long to do it. Yeah. If you didn't know, now you know. Steel Snobs episode number 11 is on the way. It's being baked as we speak, and that should be released sometime within the next couple of days, so keep your eyes peeled. If you don't have notifications turned on, please do. I appreciate it. And I don't spam you with daily episodes of everything in the world. Just turn on the notifications. What was in my pocket today? Funny you should ask. In my pocket today, carried two knives. This is the S90V Spyderco Sage 6. Fingerprints and all, baby. But I've got the Lynch Northwest wire clip replacement. Look at that. Looks good. These are the carbon fiber scales, and you know what? I like these. These are super light. Super light. Very strong. Carbon fiber is an impressive material. But I find myself yearning for some Rips Garage Tech Pyrogrip titanium scales, and they haven't released them. Get it together. Get it together, Rips Garage Tech. What are you doing? For that matter, I don't think really anybody's released any titanium scales for the Sage 6. I know Applied Weapons Tech released some aluminum scales, but I'm not downgrading from carbon fiber to aluminum. I refuse. That is a downgrade. This is the S90V variant. So underneath this, very tiny layer of peel ply is full carbon fiber, baby. And I'm not downgrading. I freaking refuse to spend money to have a more inferior handle scale material. Now, for those of you with the S30V variant with the G10 peel ply, I get it. I get it. The Applied Weapons Tech aluminum is an upgrade from that. But for me, I'm stuck waiting like, what the hell is taking these companies so freaking long? I'm like an addict trying to get their fix. Yeah. I've been carrying this for the last couple of days. It's been great. It's been absolutely great to carry it It's reminding me why I said that this was indeed a superior EDC knife to the Para 3. Not that it keeps me from carrying the Para 3. I mean, I carry the Para 3 all the freaking time. People in the Only Spartans Discord know that. The other knife that I carry today is a knife that has not left my pocket since the day I got it. It's been there every single freaking day. This is the Transparent Knives Doodle. And yes, I will have content coming for this. And yes, they will be releasing more. And I say they, I mean Brian Kim of Transparent Knives will be doing more of these in November. So if you're interested in one and you want to know my thoughts on that, that's a piece of content that will be released sometime shortly after I release the Steel Snobs episode, which is my current focus. Love this. Can't keep it out of my pocket. I don't know why I would, but that's what I carried today. What was in your pocket? If you're in the Discord, hop on over to the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, pop it in the chat. Let me know, what did you carry today? And that is today's monologue. Let's get it going. We're going to say hi to the good people in the chat. Speaking of the chat, we've got it on the right side of the screen. I know it annoys some people, but it's also kind of nice for people watching the replay. Yeah, it's kind of nice for people watching the replay. They can see the chat on the screen. But I know it's going to annoy some people, and I bet when I start looking at these messages, they're going to be like, get it off the screen! Get it off! I don't like the texts. I don't know. People are funny. What's up, Marco? Welcome in. Welcome into Charles Wooden. Welcome into Henry G. Shout out to Marco Downs. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Marco, we now have a few Marcos in the audience. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you'd like to join the Only Spartans Discord, that is one of the perks of being a channel member. You can do so by going to my channel on YouTube, go to the post section and scroll down a little bit. There will be a members only post somewhere in there with an invite link to our Discord. Feel free to join the community. You can stay as long as you'd like. Welcome into Ground Fog. Welcome to Blind Blue Fury. We've got Doc Duck in the house. Henry G, Top Dog. He says, are we ready to rubble? Like Barney Rubble? Right? What's up, Top Dog? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. He says, I watched the Rolls video on the claps for the TS Prof. Hold on. I can't take it. I can't take it. The chat box is killing me. There it is. Let me know in the comment section of this live stream if you're watching the replay. Would you like me to keep the live chat up on the screen, or is it just too much? Am I trying to do too much? Anyways, he says, I watched the Rolls video on the clamps for the TS Prof sharpener. Now I have to get one for me. Dude, the TS Prof is... Look, I am not the guy that buys 10 million sharpeners, okay? Like, I'll buy all the knives in the world. But when it comes to like my maintenance tools, I tend to be like, I get my tools and those are my tools. So for example, I've had 3 sharpeners now, fixed angles. I started off with the Lansky. I feel like everyone starts off with a Lansky, right? And I played around with that. You know, I got some lapping film, so on and so forth, a bunch of different stones. And, you know, it was fine. You can get an amazing edge on a Lansky, but, there's a little bit of a learning curve there. And then I upgraded. I got the Work Sharp Precision Adjust, the $50 cheapie when it first released. Then I got some upgrades for that. And then TS Prof reached out to me and said, hey, we've got a really nice sharpener. Would you like to check it out? Of course. I'm not going to say no to that. Not. I can't. Like, that is... They're known for making some of the best sharpening systems that money can buy. That's just the general opinion. And I had some thoughts. Like, it's an expensive sharpener, but when you feel it, you understand, because everything is put together so perfectly, and you can control a ton of these tiny little tolerances that make a big difference. For those of you who aren't into knife sharpening, but want to be, I highly recommend going and watching the Outdoor 55 channel. Alex from Outdoors 55 he makes amazing content, highly entertaining, a really, really good guy. I don't know him personally, but I love his content, been a fan for years. He makes a really good point when he says that you can actually sharpen knives really quickly if you can keep your angle perfect. And that's important because on a guided angle sharpener, like, you think that you're keeping the angle perfect, right? Because you're locked in at that angle. Wrong. You're not, because things are shifting. Like on the Work Sharp Precision Adjust, the clamp arm would shift up and down ever so slightly. And that little bit of shift changes the angle that you're sharpening at. And so you have to do more passes to create more consistency over time to get the perfect angle. And then you get a wider and a wider edge bevel. You remove more and more material to get there. So the nice thing about the TS Prof Cadet Pro, which is what they sent me, is that it has some exceedingly sturdy tolerances. Like the clamps don't really shift overly much. They're really nice and tight. You can lock in the angle axis with a separate latch, and it shifts. It shifts the least out of any guided angle sharpening system that I've ever felt. And I've had really good experiences with it so far. I've sharpened several knives to like slice straight through paper towels like nobody's business. And I love it. It's expensive. I'm very grateful that they collaborated with me so I didn't have to buy one. But I don't buy a million sharpeners. So my point is that at least for what I've experienced so far, it is easily the king. That isn't to say that you can't get like a KME and get a perfect angle, or you can't get a Wicked Edge and get a perfect angle, or you can't buy the new Work Sharp, Precision Adjust Pro that's like $300 and also not cheap and get a perfect angle. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that my experience has been great and I love it. And if you sharpen your knives, you can do a hell of a lot worse. The clamps video, I knew that was going to be not a very popular video. It's specifically towards people that already have a TS Prof Cadet Pro. It's not a huge market just for the accessories, but had to do it anyways because I know there are customers out there that might want to know, are they worth it? Some say yes, some say no. I think they're great products, but that's just me. All right. And I'm going to continue to say hi to the people because the chat is freaking getting away from me and I don't want to miss anything. Let's go. Welcome into Brown Sugar. Welcome into the Ponds. We got the Ponds in the house. Welcome into Vavelski. I'm trying to find everyone. I'm going fast. I really am. Top Dog says it takes a long time to make quality content. It really does. I mean, the hard part and the part that I have to remind myself is that quality is not tied to little gimmicky editing tricks. Like, editing tricks are worth it if they can enhance the experience. If they enhance the experience and they cover your senses, like for example, to have text pop on the screen and it just pops on the screen, cool. If you have that text pop on the screen with a small, insignificant little sound effect that helps draw the attention and enhance the experience and bring more depth to the watching experience, then that's an editing trick that makes sense. But it also takes time. So the battle that I wage every time I do a Steel Snobs episode is, what is the types of editing that help the user experience, help the audience experience, that actually adds value, whether it's conscious or subconscious? And is it possible that I overthink these things? Definitely. If I could go back in time and talk to Rollshambo from 2021, 2022, I'd be like, stop overthinking the editing stuff. Think about the things that make the audience experience better. And that is how you make a good piece of content. Welcome into Pocket Candy Randy. Gosh, I love that name. What's up, Pocket Candy Randy? Hey, shout out to my man Bradford Mitchell. Spartan for 2 months. Thank you, man. He says, girlfriend got me a mini Aries for my birthday. She's a keeper, man. She's a keeper. Your girlfriend got you a mini Aries? My wife knows I love knives, and she has never bought me one. She's like, I don't know what I would get you. You already... She thinks I already have them all. My wife has never bought me a knife. So anyways, congrats on the mini Aries and the super cool girlfriend. And thank you for being a channel member for 2 months. That is badass. All right, what's up, Joe? Welcome in. Welcome into Aaron D2. Try to give everyone a little bit of shine. Frankie Cheech, Ryan Dye, Ed B. What's up, Ed? He says, I'm not wearing pants. That's one hell of an intro. I'm not wearing pants. Thank you for the visual. I'm not wearing pants and holding an object that may or may not be sharp. Sounds like you need a TS Prof. We can make it sharp. The danger increases the excitement. What's up, Rome? Welcome in. All right, guys. I'm trying to catch up. I swear to you, I'm like 80%, 90% over this gold. Ryan, what's up, Retro? Ryan, good to see you, man. Hold on. All right. Grateful Dong in the house. Good to see you, man. Paul Mills, what's up, Paul? Ian Coates. Give it up for Ian Coates. What's up, Ian? He says, any seats open here? I'm a little late. There's always a seat for you, man. Good to see you, bud. Thank you for being a channel mod, longtime channel member. Appreciate you. Sean McLaughlin, welcome in. I almost said welcome to see you. Oh, man. Don't judge me. I should probably just drink more water. All right. Ian says, also, this Knives guy has a lot of insight into sharpening. Yeah, he does. Jared is great with sharpening. I watch a lot of his videos too. And he's got a lot of good points. Like a lot of people I'll give you one, for example. Jared did a video on his Instagram and his social media. He probably posted it everywhere, but he was sharpening a deep recurve blade. His recurve blade that he did with T-Kel in like a Instagram reel or a short or something. And it's a really skinny stone. But it was vindicating because every time I post a video of a cool recurve knife, people are like, oh, I hate recurves because they're hard to sharpen. And the truth is that they're really not that hard to sharpen. You just need the right tool for the job, and they're not even hard to find. You just need a stone for your guided sharpening system that is like less than a ½ inch thick or wide, and it will sharpen your recurve blades. That's it. That's it. You don't need to do anything weird. You don't need to, go watch the snake oil guy that shows up at all the knife shows with his little flint piece that he, does this. If you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. If you ever looked at how do I sharpen a recurve knife, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's no snake oil. You just need a stone that's thin enough. And on something like a TS Prof that allows you to use different aftermarket stones, it's super easy. Just pick up, like if you have recurve knives or if you want to own some and you want to sharpen them, just pick up some stones. They're no wider than a ½ inch. They're out there. I think the one he showcased was PD Tools, but it was cool. Like recurve blades actually are really great cutters, especially for slicing through stuff. Low tip angle, in and out of cardboard boxes. Nobody's business, right? Cut through cardboard, super easy. Stay in the cut. You don't have to worry about slipping out because the recurve keeps you in the cut. Recurve is actually a really useful edge geometry. Regardless, yeah, Jared knows his stuff when it comes to sharpening. I think he did a video with Outdoors 55 too. Welcome into B Shady. What's up, man? All right, Adam, welcome in. He says, I have a fixed angle, and now that I learned to freehand, it's so much easier. Just get a decent diamond bench stone and practice on a cheap knife. You'll be happy. Yeah. He says, you'll be happy you did. Sorry, the message cut off on the screen. Yeah, you're not wrong at all, man. I have some freehand stones. I use them primarily to sharpen my kitchen knives. I get an immense amount of pleasure out of freehand sharpening my kitchen knives, but I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it is definitely a skill. Okay. When you are freehand sharpening, it is definitely a skill. It is the easiest thing in the world to lose your angle. Like, I don't know about y'all, but when I freehand sharpen, I have like the one edge bevel is perfect. And then the other edge bevel where I have to switch to my left hand, that edge bevel sucks. I don't care on my cheap kitchen knives because it's whatever, the Target special, the $10, $15 Target special. Nobody cares. I can screw those up. I'll get the edge sharp eventually, right? But when I switch to the other edge bevel with my left hand, like my left hand is not as well trained as my right hand. And so that edge bevel usually takes a little bit more. And I've tried like changing the angle of the stone and my stance to just, keep it with the dominant hand. And there's tips and tricks and stuff, but it is highly satisfying to get a razor sharp edge by freehanding. But I'm going to put it to you like this. When you own knives that are, $5, $6, $7, $8, $900 knives, and you want to sharpen them, I don't want to faff about freehanding that. I don't want to, because you run the risk of damaging those blades. Even professionals that have freehanded tons of knives eventually make mistakes. And how crappy would it be to make a mistake on like a $500-$600 folder? I would probably cry over making a mistake on a $300 folder or a $200 folder, because then you'll always be consistently reminded every time you look at that. Yep, I screwed that up. So I would say if you have a collection and you don't have the time or the energy to build the skill of freehanding, fixed angle is the way to go. That's what I was getting at. Anyways, the chat is jumping. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss any anniversary messages. Sean, what's up, man? He says, I would be horrible at sharpening if it wasn't for Neves, but still a beginner with a pro work sharp. Yeah. What's important is that you start somewhere, whether that's with a guided system or freehand. I do both. I just use my freehand stones for my kitchen knives because I don't really care that much if I screw up on a kitchen knife. Top Dog says, I own a TS Prof Pioneer and still got something out of it. Nice, man. I'm glad to hear that. Definitely glad to hear that. I thought it was a good video. I thought I did a good job on the video, but apparently YouTube disagreed. Matt Maurer, what's up, man? Wicked Dream, good to see you. Welcome in. All right. Hey, shout out to my man, John Blackman. 23 months? You're almost at the 2-year mark, man. Almost there. One more month. That might actually happen here in the month of October. He says, what's up, Shambo? Living the dream. Grateful Dong says, Roll, you should use a voice changer using a really high voice. Let me see. I have some effects that I could turn on. I've never actually turned them on, so I don't know if this is even going to work. Hold on. All right, let me see here. I have an interface that has sound effects that I have never used. I think I can turn them on. This could be kind of entertaining, or it could be really annoying. What about now? Does that sound any better? I'm guessing probably not. This is supposed to change the gender of the voice. Is that any better? Is that any higher? I could change the pitch.
I could change the pitch just a little bit. How about we just turn off the sound effects?
Okay, everything should be back to normal now. I don't mess with voice changers, guys. I don't. This is my voice. But it is a high quality microphone that is going through an interface that connects to my computer, and it does a great job of blocking out extra noises and just focusing on the actual levels of my voice. It's something that I got to experience a long time ago. I used to have a part-time job doing radio shows. I did what's called voice tracking. Voice tracking is pre-recording hours of shows. And so essentially I would transition music. Sometimes I would do ad spots. Every now and then I'd MC an event at a bar or a state fair or something. But it was really cool because I got to experience all the recording equipment. And I can tell you, radio stations do not want you messing with their audio settings. They've got these great big soundboards, at least back then they did. They might have made the technology smaller since then, but they take up whole rooms, and it was all about like audio equalizers and EQ settings. If you've ever looked at EQ settings, like on your for your sound system, and you're like, wow, there's like 8 different settings. I'm just gonna leave it on normal or average or whatever the base, default setting is. It is so much worse in a radio station. They've got hundreds of different equalizer settings that even changing one just a little bit can completely mess up the system. And so they would have like pieces of tape taped at certain spots with little notes as to what does this switch do? It was hard not to mess with those because I have a curious mind. I'm like, can I just, I could spend all day in there messing around with the equipment, but it was a lot of fun. All right. Ian says, I bet if he couldn't artfully mute his audio, we'd know he's coughing up a lung. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I swear I'm at like 90%. I just have that little bit of cough tickle going on, the emphysema cough. Ian says, I always try to spend time with Jared at Blade ATL weekend. I always try to spend time with Jared Blade ATL weekend. I haven't gone yet. I need to do that. Yo, welcome in to Hate Nate. Good to see you, man. Thank you for being a channel member. Michael Sawyer, welcome in. He says, just got back from a month-long road trip. Made it out your way for a while. Damn, this country has a lot to offer. Yeah, it does. It really does. I got to say, like, I like Idaho. I miss Colorado. Boise is great, but I miss Denver. Ed says, Broll's like button needs some soft erotic caressing. There's no need for that. Just Spartan kick the like button. Ed's advice is going to get somebody arrested. All right. I feel like I missed something. Oh my goodness. Ian Coates with the $2 super.
I'm not retarded, but I like rocks.
He says, plebe sharpen, elites just rotate knives. Yeah, I'm definitely still a plebe. I mean, I can't help it, man. Like today's carry, I've carried it twice in a row because it's so good. I carried these knives 2 days in a row. Such a good carry. I have no regrets. You can call me the knife peasant. All right. He says, let's not confuse Roll with tri-state memes tonight and make him end like 15 minutes early. No, I didn't end early because I didn't get the tri-state joke. I didn't end early because of that. In fact, I didn't even really end early. Like my live streams go for an hour to an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. I don't really do a good job of planning them out. I've tried to plan out live streams in the past, and every single time, it's just not good. So I go off the cuff, and I'm done when I'm done. Sometimes that means it's an hour and 15. Sometimes that means it's an hour and a half. Sometimes that means it's 2 hours. I do what feels natural. All right. Stonewall says helium roll. I love messing with helium. It's so much fun. Says I spend $2 to be ignored. This guy, don't make me laugh. I'm gonna get in another coughing fit. I just got. This is Sparta. That wasn't a cough. That was a Spartan kick. Grateful Dog says Roll has that smooth, quiet storm voice naturally. It's you know what? It's the voice you get when you just, go through a lot of depression. Sean says, try it again, this time with the raisin in your mouth. Never, man. Freaking never. I hate raisins. Stephen Fletcher, what's up, man? He says, I've got to get up for work in 6 hours, so I'm just doing this post real quick to tell you what I think about the wire pocket clip on the 15V Mannix Lightweight. It is functional. Yeah, that's about as much as you could say about it, right? Like, it's functional. Wire clips are very functional. They function very well. They are a function-only part of the knife. I feel like they feel cheap. I don't like the way they feel in my hand. Even though they don't really do a hot spot, they just like that constant feel of cheapness in my hand on something that costs over $100 just bothers me, okay? A lot of people agree with me. A lot of people disagree with me. It's one of those things where there's very few fence sitters, is what I'll say. You're either a fan of wire clips because of how well they function, or you hate them for the many reasons that I've listed plenty of times. The good news is that companies like Lynch Northwest offer milled titanium wire clip replacements that function really good. Like this functions just as good, if not better, than any wire clip I've ever experienced. Doesn't look half bad either. It's just waiting for some titanium scales. One of these days, the Sage 6 will get some. He says, that pocket clip will work until I can afford to buy new scales and clip. Yeah. Highly functional. Won't tear up the fabric of your jeans pocket. Smooth egress, from the old pockets. It works. It definitely works. When you do decide to upgrade, I can recommend the Lynch Northwest milled wire clip replacements. They work really, really good. I like them a lot. Ed B says, he's always behind Ian. I text him when he misses shit, and I usually get ignored. You guys should know something. I don't multitask very well. I can focus on one thing really well. I get zoned in on the rabbit hole of whatever the rabbit hole of that moment is. And everything else is just kind of there, and I get to it when I get to it. I definitely don't try to ignore anybody, though. Steven says, but it looks cheap. I think you're still talking about the wire clip. I just hate wire clips, man. I just hate wire clips. All right. Ian says, super chat at your own discretion with this guy. He'll ignore it most likely. Come on. That's not true. Test that theory. Test that theory. He says, yeah, it's because I start from the top of the chat and I work my way down. I should probably just, start from the most recent part of the chat whenever I get in on these lives. Maybe. Hey, Mike and Ike's EDC. Good to see you, man. He says, I see you even if Roll misses both. I didn't mean to miss anybody. Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Says, Sean says, Roll, I've always wanted to ask if you do any hunting. Idaho is especially great for that. I used to do some hunting. That was primarily when I lived in Oregon. I grew up in Oregon, moved to Idaho for secondary schooling. I went to college in Moscow, Idaho. Go Vandals. And then I moved to Colorado, and I spent, the last 11 years there. The truth of the matter is I just don't have time for it. So I used to do some elk hunting, some deer hunting, did some fishing. But in the last better part of the decade of my life, I've been so busy, working jobs plus other jobs, and I just don't have time for it anymore, which is too bad. There's something really nice about getting out there in nature, getting into a nice tree stand, trying to walk through the forest without creating a ton of noise. Hunters know exactly what I'm talking about. If you go hunting with somebody who's never been hunting before, they could be saying nothing, and they walk through the woods, and they step on every branch, every twig that breaks. They'll shovel loose every rock down every hill, and have absolutely no idea how much sound they're actually producing. And they're like, why didn't I see any deer today? Where did all the good elk go? Oh, man. Just some fond memories of going hunting. I know when my dad first started taking me hunting when I was a little kid. I remember specifically the first time because he gave me such a hard time, like story time here. The first time I went out into the woods hunting with my dad, I was probably around 7 or 8 years old. It was shortly after he gave me my first knife. And I got the whole get up right. I went to I took hunter safety courses. I had my own hunting bow. I was learning how to shoot a rifle and handle ammunition and firearms. And my dad took me out hunting. Typical father-son thing to do when you live rurally. And the first time, he got so pissed because I stepped on every twig. I kicked loose every rock. I didn't say a word, and he was like, "We're never gonna see any elk if you keep walking." If you keep walking like that. But here's the funny part, and I didn't realize this until years later. We would always drive out into, like when we went hunting that one time, and he gave me such a hard time. We drove into the wilderness with his big F-250 Super Duty diesel Ford. There were no animals there when we got there. Talking about me walking loud through the wilderness, knowing damn well that there weren't going to be any animals there because we drove there in his diesel truck. He has since passed away, but he and I also laughed about that. One of those fond memories. That's story time. Ian says, "It's too bad you're going to cough. I was dunking on you for like half an hour." Yeah. Sounds about right. Says, "I love wire clips. Bring on the hate." Listen, that's one of the best things about being part of a community is that we can absolutely disagree on a topic, and that's totally fine. It means that we have something interesting to talk about. Wire clips feel like paper clips that you put on a knife. They are not solid. You snag your wire clip on something and it bends. Yeah, you can bend it back, but now you've ruined the integrity of your paper clip. Has anyone ever done that? You're walking by something, the wire clip on your knife in your pocket snags on something, bends out, you have to bend it back. Once you do that, ruins the integrity of that metal structure. And because there's not much metal there, and it's a soft metal, that wire clip's going to break. It's not going to break? Lynch Northwest should really sponsor me for all the product plugging I'm doing for them. If anyone knows anybody who works at Lynch Northwest, tell them I said hi. He says, "I need a replacement milled clip for my new 299 PSYOP." Well, there's a couple of good options out there. You could go with the Rips Garage Tech milled replacement clip. You could go with the Lynch Northwest milled wire clip replacement. The difference between those two are going to be primarily in how much space you want. So, for example, this has a ton of space between the milled clip and the scales. So if you ever wear any pants that have thicker material, like any Carhartt pants, or any work pants that have extra layers of fabric, or if you put this in like a coat pocket, right? Extra fabric. I wouldn't do the Rips Garage Tech because it's a lot lower clearance. But this is going to be really, really good for pretty much anything. It does stick out a bit farther though. So if you mind a wider profile on the side, then it might not be the way to go. But if you just want smooth access, the Ergo's really good. It disappears in the hand. I think that it looks pretty decent as well. I can give it an endorsement. Why not? I bought it. I like it. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Ian says, "It's okay. I pay to dunk on Will. I don't play defense very good." All right, I'm going to catch up with the chat. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. If I missed you guys somewhere in the middle, I'm sorry. Welcome into Jeremy. Welcome into Cicero. Night Rayer in the house. I think almost all of the channel mods are here. I think we're just missing Jim Miller. Jim, are you out there? Top Dog says, "Hey Rolls, do a wire clips. Choices are wire clips, expensive tie clips, or rocks." Do a poll? You want me to do a poll? I can do that. All right, hold on. All right, so Which do you prefer? Option 1 is going to be wire clips. Option 2 is going to be milled clips. And by the way, to say these are expensive, I don't know. I mean, it's like, what, 40, 50 bucks for a slab of titanium? Maybe a little bit more depending upon what you're looking at. And we're going to add an option there. So which do you prefer? Wire clips, milled clips? I like rocks. There we go. All right. Vote. Let your opinions be heard. The poll is in the chat. You know, there is no electoral college here, and we'll check it back in on this poll here in a while. If you have no preference, you could just say that you like rocks. Hey, what's up, Lone Star? Good to see you, man. He says Philly's Karen caught trying to tunnel into Mexico. That sounds like a plot from the show Weeds. Welcome to Jay. What's up, man? He says, I like wire clips, but I love patches. Man, the campaigning for the I Like Rocks patches continues. Ian says, did I fall asleep? Did we not check the Discord already? We haven't checked it yet. I haven't gotten to it yet. I've been trying to catch up with the chat. We'll get there. Hold your horses. John, what's up, man? He says, wire clips plus diamond pattern scales will turn your pockets into fine Parmesan. I mean, diamond pattern milling on handle scales does a good job of that regardless of the clip. The difference is going to be, let me grab it right here. I've got 2 examples of some of the best pocket clip designs ever because the pocket clip is part of the well thought out design. So this is, of course, the Brown Knives Cortex XL. Now, underneath this pocket clip is a flat spot. It's just a flat spot. So we've got milling all over the handle scales, right? And milling on top of the pocket clip. Great design. But underneath it, it's just a flat spot. So the nice thing about carrying this knife, which I do frequently, this knife gets carry time at least once a week, is that it's super easy in and out of the pockets. It doesn't damage the fabric at all. It's got good retention. Love it. My second example is actually even better, of course, on the Machine-Wise Mojave. And I am not sponsored by them or anything, but I'm going to tell you right now, still my favorite mid-tech knife that I picked up this year. And I picked up a few, man. This is not just a flat spot. It's actually a milled out flat spot. So it's not just that it's a lack of milling underneath. They actually did a cutout. And so what that did was it created a spot like on the Cortex XL where, you know, it's just a flat spot underneath. That's great. Easy in and out of the pocket, won't tear up your jeans. This is a flat spot that's actually been milled out underneath the level of the scales. So you actually get even more headroom without increasing the side profile of the knife. Look at that. It's kind of hard to focus. Boom. For comparison, check this out. For comparison, you see how much thicker that Sage 6 is between the side of the scale and the pocket clip? Why is that relevant? I mean, for one, it looks cleaner on here because it's more slender, but it doesn't come at the cost of not being able to put a knife like this over thicker material. One of the many reasons why I absolutely love the Machine-Wise Mojave. So, pocket clip droning on. That's one way that knife makers and knife companies could actually have something like a diamond milled pattern and not turn it into a cheese grater. Yeah. Grateful Dong says Mingana Steel Aurelia. Oh yeah, another excellent example. The Aurelia has a similar design to the Mojave on how it functions. That is pocket clip perfection. It is pocket clip perfection. It's one of my favorite things about that knife. And I'm kicking myself because I was going to get one and then like everyone broke the website buying them. So I reviewed one. I reviewed a prototype. I didn't get to keep it. It was a prototype. Had to send it on. And I didn't get in on the pre-order. The money didn't line up. And I was like, I'll just buy one when he does the drop. Well, he did the drop, and you guys broke the freaking website because so many people visited. They sold out in a minute. Like, that's not an exaggeration. They sold out in as much time as it would take for every single person that could buy one to buy one, which was under 60 seconds. That is to say that I didn't end up getting one. Unfortunate. Paul says, I love that milling pattern on your Cortex XL, Rolls. Sick. Yeah, dude, I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite knives. It's one of my top 3 favorite knives. The Brown Knives Cortex XL is so good. Ed B says, TRM, best clip. I don't know about that. TRM makes a very functional clip. Hold on. I went back to the stock clip on my TRM Neutron. But look at that. Like, this is... I have been begging TRM for the longest time to come out with a milled alternative. And here's the deal. Like, this clip functions super well. Super well. It's got retention. You know, it's not the stiffest thing in the world, but it's also not going to, like, fly out of your pocket. You can put this in the thickest material known to mankind and it won't have any issues. It's deep carry. But they really do need to give a milled clip option, especially for the Neutron. And maybe on their Rev B Bulldog. Maybe. Just throwing that out there. Aaron says, Minganis Aurelia has a good clip. It's one of the best pocket clip designs. Easily. John says, landing pads for clips are the future. All new makers should do them. Absolutely. It is more milling. It is more machine work that makes things more expensive. So it's kind of hard to get them to do that. Paul says, I don't like how far TRM clips stand off the scales, but they do work well. 100% agree. They are function first. Hey, shout out to my man, Jim Cox. It says new member on the screen. He's not a new member. He's been a channel member for 6 months. Thanks for being a channel member for 6 months. I don't know why my little app that allows me to put chats on the screen says that it's a new member. He's been a channel member for 6 months. Thank you, Jim. Yeah. All right, guys. If I don't get to it, I'll never get to it. We're going to hop on over to the Only Spartans Discord to check on some pocket checks. Real quick, let's check in on our poll. I asked the audience, which do you prefer? Wire clips, milled clips, or I like rocks?
I'm not retarded, but I like rocks.
Well, as it turns out, 15% of people said wire clips, 55% of people said milled clips, and 30% of people said I like rocks. 40 people have voted. There's 50 people in the chat. If you haven't voted, your vote counts. Vote. Do it now. Do it now. All right. We're going to go ahead and hop on into the pocket check in 3, 2, 1, go. Here it is. Here it is. And we're going to start off with this one because we always start off with the first pocket check post of the day. Nick T, he's got a CKF Evo 4.0. Very nice. That's the full DLC variant too, right? Love it. With the brushed. Do they call that barked? Do they call that like a barked finish? Or do they just call it a brushed DLC finish? Either way, freaking gorgeous. Love that. Dazed, he's got a Sparrow Knife Company Strix. Production Strix? I think so. With... Although I swear I did not see them do any with this carbon fiber. That's a really cool, like, electric blue. Is that camo carbon fiber or is that an... I don't think that's Arctic Storm. There's no white. I believe that's kind of like a... Could it be Damtanium from camo carbon fiber? I don't know. I'm not certain. But what I do know is that is absolutely freaking gorgeous. Jim Miller, he's got the sencut Watauga The Rosecraft Clinch River Swayback Button Lock, and the Brass Brigade J-Cal. Another man that carries a fixed blade frequently. Got to get my hands on a Brass Brigade fixed blade. I've heard great things about it, and I know he's come a long way as far as his knife making has gone. Very cool. Thanks for sharing, Jim. Hope you're out there. Vavelsky with some excellent shots. Ooh, we got a puppy dog. Look at that. Mangana Steel Aurelia. We were just talking about that pocket clip. Look at that. It looks like it might be a stamped pocket clip, but it's not. It's a milled pocket clip that gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And it goes in this garaged pocket right here. And it is exceedingly smooth in and out of the pocket. Perfect tension. Looks good. Feels good in the hand. Perfect function. People lost their freaking minds when I said that this was a really good freaking carry, and I mentioned that I thought that it was in many cases a better carry than a Sebenza. People lost it. I was getting hate mail. I was getting hate comments. Like, if you want to piss off a group of people, just tell them that their Sebenza is not as good as a new design like that. If Sharif could get the Aurelia made in the United States, and I know this is a pipe dream, but that is a design. If I was Sharif, that is a design where I would approach Bill Koenig at Koenig Knives, and I'd say, Bill, I know you've got 2 designs. How about we add a third? Because that is a design that I think Koenig Knives would absolutely freaking crush. And I would love to see that. Maybe, if not Koenig, maybe take it to Millet Knives. We need an American-made version, damn it. If we could get an American-made version of the Aurelia, like, yes, it would probably be an $800 or $900 knife. People would eat it up. Not that they needed to be an American-made knife. I mean, they still sold out fast enough where I couldn't buy one, but yeah. Anyways, he also has a Tri-Stash. That's the new Tri-Stash V2 in titanium. Puppy dog. Solid shot of the pooch. Love it, man. Look at that. Really good shots. It's almost like he's a photographer. Love those photos. Those photos are awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, V. Appreciate it, man. Night Rare, he's got his Frankenstein 15V Manix 2. Those are the Alien. I had these scales on my Manix 2. This is an impressive knife because he took a Manix 2 lightweight, and then he had to take a donor Manix 2 and swap certain hardware over so that he could take just the blade from the lightweight Manix and make it fit with Manix 2 scales. For those who don't know, typically Manix 2 lightweights are not compatible with regular Manix 2 aftermarket scales for several reasons. But that is sweet, man. Freaking sweet. Especially love that tritium inlay on the ball cage. So cool. So cool. David V, he's got a says triple knife day, carried the Stonewash Tri-Stash V2 tomorrow Mojave. Ooh, I approve. 2 Tri-Stashes and a Mojave. Very nice. Love it, man. A little bit of knife flexing. The Pawn's got the Tri-Stash V. Everyone's got the Tri-Stash V2. All right. I guess the pocket check is over. We can go home. Everyone's got a Tri-Stash V2. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love seeing all the support for Cole's knife. That's awesome, guys. You guys came through in spades. I see that. He's got the PEI edition. Ultim PEI, same material. He's got the Ultimate Edition Tri-Stash V2, the Arkfeld Ultra, and the cool hand gear tie pen. That's a cool pen. I like that. Very nice. Bradford Mitchell, he's got a really cool... that's a small Sebenza, right? I'm assuming that's a small Sebenza with Damascus and a silver twill carbon fiber. That pocket clip looks to be black Damascus. I'm assuming that's a black Damascus Rips Garage Tech milled clip. Looks gorgeous. Goes really good with the Damascus blade and that silver twill carbon fiber. I like that, man. Classy. Classy. I think that's a small Sebenza 31. I could be wrong. My not so professional cell phone shot of my carry. Already went over it. If you missed it, carried the S90V Sage 6 and the Transparent Knives Doodle. I've been carrying this fixed blade a lot. Every single day. Ed's he's got the fall photos going on with the Remet Kestrel. Got some pumpkin in the background. Very nice. Classy. Like it, Ed. Charles Wooden, he's got the big Dixon energy. Have you guys seen that the Dixon has been getting several different milling patterns? I'm still not a fan of the blade shape, primarily due to that deployment hole. And here's the thing. Like, I am sure that this knife is made excellent. Everyone that's handled one tells me that I'm crazy, that it's an amazing knife. For me, aesthetically, like, I might end up having to eat my words. I might try one and be forever, cleansed of my dislike of the aesthetics. But for me, I just don't like the look of the blade shape. I don't like this little peak right here that accommodates the Egyptian eye. But people freaking love this knife. And every single person who I've talked to who has handled one tells me that it is one of their favorite knives that they own. I also like the paw prints. That's cool. Now they've got frag pattern milling on the handle scales that's available. I've seen a couple different handle scale milling options that are coming out, which should be really cool as well. I'm going to have to try one at some point. Matt D, he's got the Carver Mini Wave, the Focusworks side swipe and full zirconium fine dragon skin milling, and the bandana from Brooklyn Brewery with my trusty Zippo. I love some dragon skin milling. I'm going to zoom in there. Look at that. Look at that pen. That pen is freaking gorgeous. I mean, the knife's not too shabby either. The knife's not too shabby either. I mean, whatever you put next to that pen is just going to be playing second fiddle. Let's be honest. I love dragon skin milling. I want to get a Utzler neutralizer with the dragon skin milling on the handle scales, because the way that Utzler does it, the way that Cody Utzler does it, it looks almost layered. Dragon skin milling is probably my favorite milling type. I wish more knife companies did it and did it regularly. TC Blades got the Concept Orlock, the White Mountain Knives Sail Fin, the bestechman Cicada Wing in crystallized tie, and MagnaCut blade. The freaking Sail Fin has been blowing up. People love this knife. I'm positive that they're sold out. We'll have to check it out. Very nice, man. Crystal tie. I love some good crystal tie. Blind Woo Fury, he's got a bag on him. Look at that. He's got the Kubi. I owned this knife. I had this knife. This very same freaking knife. It's a Dmitry Osarenko design. Kubi. It's the dark. I want to say dark mode, but it's not. Hold on. I know you guys are going to scream it out in the chat. Kubi. Dock design. Hold on. DOCK, Dmitry Osarenko. Designers, come on. Are they not even listing Dmitry Osarenko? Yeah, they are. It's up here. Okay. The blackout. I kept wanting to say the dark mode. It's the blackout. Damn it. I owned one. Really cool knife. Love that knife. I don't want to look at the chat. You guys are going to give me a hard time. I already know it. Tristash V2. He's got the Kubi Blackout. He's got the Touch Knives Click with a K. A benchmade Auto Adamas. The crossbar autos do look pretty cool. And then this guy up at the top, that's going to be a Remet. Is that a Remet Mustang? think so. Remet Mustang. The knife, not the car. Oh my goodness. Knife. Remet Mustang knife. Remet button lock knife. It's this guy. It's this guy. What do they call it? What's its name? It is the WD-107. Come on, Remet. You can't just give it. You gotta give it a name. Nobody likes using model numbers. I'm just giving them a hard time. Never tried one of those. Heard good things though. It's a WD-107. Drinkwater's also got a Tri-Stash V2 and a McNeese McBee. Say McNeese, it's a Spyderco McBee. I know there's a difference, but it's a McNeese. It's a Jonathan McNeese design. Grateful Dong also with 2 Tri-Stashes. So many Tri-Stashes in the chat. JT John Tagamori, he's got a Vero Engineering. It's not a Synapse, is it? Is that a Synapse? All these Vero knives look the same to me. See, I know it's not an Axon. I believe it's a large Synapse. And then he's got the new Bergam design. This one. I keep talking about it in each live stream. I'm not huge on it. People love this knife. The hand satin finish is gorgeous. I'm positive that the fit and finish on it is perfection. For me, I'm just not. I'm not wowed by it personally. This is going to be one of those where I'd have to handle it to fall in love, and I know that. But it'd be an expensive entry point to pay for that. Warrior Guild, he's got the Civivi Elementum and the Tactile Red Hawk, which is a Best Damn EDC design. Shout out to Taylor Martin. People love this fixed blade. I know people love this fixed blade. Gonna have to try one out. I'm steadily and surely becoming more of a fan of fixed blades. Hate Nate, he's got the Piss Stash. He says Piss Stash was in the pocket today. Other knives are Dark Mode Stash and Urban EDC Blurple Becerro. Becerro? Is it Becerro or Becerro? I'm not sure. I like the Hanks, man. Gondek EDC. I'm gonna have to check them out. I'm pretty faithful to my Hanks. I carry a very specific few, and I carry them a lot. I'm gonna have to check them out. Love that. Love those Hanks though. We got a couple Tri-Stash V2s in there, and the Urban EDC Blurple Becerro or Becerro. I'm not sure how to say that. Craig Vincent, he's got the Cold Steel 4 Max, the Cold Steel 5 Max. He's got a Cold Steel Mayhem. Dear Lord. Cold Steel Voyager. A lot of Cold Steel today. And I'm not sure which one this one is. Cool looking dagger style, though. I like it, man. Mixing it up. Those are some big knives. You know what they say about carrying big knives? Big pockets. Yeah, big pockets. Aaron D2, he's carrying the that's a Poi Kilo. Which Poi Kilo is that? It's not the Orca, is it? I don't think it's the Orca. I'm not too terribly familiar with Poi Kilo knives, and that's my excuse. Looks cool though. I still have yet to experience a Poi Kilo knife. We'll have to change that at some point. Wicked Dream, he's got a couple knives. Ooh. He's got the Vanguard Knives breaker. I don't think that's a USA made breaker. I don't think anyone's got their USA breakers, but that's a Vanguard breaker for sure. For sure. And then that is an Arcane Designs. Why do I always want to default and say that it's a crypt? It's not. It's not an Arcane crypt. Like, This is an Arcane Crypt. I haven't checked out an Arcane Designs knife since I owned the first run of the Plexus. It's the Necronaut. It's the Necronaut. Okay. You guys seen this? Arcane Designs is doing some... I almost said less expensive, and then I realized that they're not less expensive. They're aluminum. I believe they're aluminum anyways. And they're still expensive. Nope, those are titanium handles. Damn. I thought they were doing some in aluminum handles. Those look clean. Those look very clean. Here we are going down a rabbit hole. I'm trying to stay on task. I haven't even checked in with the chat yet. Let's do that. We're going to go ahead and give an update on the poll. It's been up for 25 minutes, 52 votes. I asked the question, which do you prefer? Wire clips, milled clips, or I like rocks?
I'm not retarded, but I like rocks.
So far, wire clips, 13% of people prefer wire clips. 60% of people in the chat prefer milled clips, and 26% say I like rocks. Which I'm assuming is just the option if you just don't care. Oh man. All right. I'm gonna check to see if I've missed any. I just want to make sure I haven't missed any anniversary chats. Hold on. Brad, man, I thought it was a small Sabenza. Without anything to compare it to, how would I know? You got to put, listen, Brad, you got to put it next to like a Coke bottle or, a can of Axe body spray. That's how that's how I'm told you do, size comparisons. It says the large LH31 Sabenza and clip is made by Adam Purvis. Oh. Yeah, I always forget about Purvis. Purvis does some really good add-ons. I thought for sure that it was a Rips Garage Tech clip, and I'll show you why. For anyone out there that has a Sabenza and wants a nice Timascus clip, Rips Garage Tech makes some killer clips, and I'm going to show you why. Like, I'm not sponsored by them. Maybe they should change that. Rips Garage Tech Sabenza clip. So check this out. They've got a lot of options, or at least they used to. What happened? Chris Reeve knives, pocket clips. Yeah, here we go. So this is why, because they do clips like this, right? So that's why I thought it was a Rips Garage Tech clip. I thought it was one of these. These are expensive, but they're also sold out. Like, these are $135 pocket clips, but it's Ghost Timascus. They're all sold out. If you guys want one of these for your Chris Reeve knife, if you want to bling it up a bit, the best place to actually get the Rips Garage Tech clips are on DLT. Sabenza clip. Let's see. Yep. See, they've got the Rips Garage Tech clips. Maybe I should just search by RGT clip. Wire clip replacement, Timascus. Damn it. I need to stop looking at these. I'm looking for the Chris Reeve, the CRK. The CRK clips, where are they? I've seen them on DLT. I know it. Are they all sold out of their specialized clips for their Chris Reeve knives? They might be. They might be. Disappointment. Trying not to sneeze. All right. I'm going to get off of the rabbit hole that I was on. Thank you for clarifying, Brad. It was the large LH31 Sebenza and the clips made by Adam Purvis. Thank you for the clarification. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous clip and a gorgeous knife. Wicked Dreams, he's got the Arcane Necronaut and the, I almost said the USA Made Breaker. The Vanguard Breaker. Very cool. Cicero, he's coming in with the the dark meat stash ride. I can't laugh like that. You're making me cough. Oh man, so many people with the new stash, the new tri-stash. Kevin Smith, USA carry this week. This is your weekly carry. I'm assuming that this is what you're rotating through this week. Let's go. He's got the Inkosi Tanso. He's got a Manix 2 with the rock scale design critter scales. Which one is that? The Shaman. Did I say Manix 2? I meant Shaman. Damn it. It's is that CTS? Is that CTS 204P? Is that a CTS 204P blade? Might be. I believe that's a Sawtooth. He's got a Spartan Harsey that looks like a full-size Spartan Harsey too. Love that, man. Love the milling on those. Really cool design. He's got a Hinderer XM18, and that looks to be a TRM. I'm going with the TRM Atom, but it might be a Neutron. Nope, that's a TRM Neutron too. And then the American Blade Works slip joint. Solid carry this week. Super cool. Carlos has got a McNeese PM Mac 2 with some gorgeous framed in frag pattern milling. Like when I think about what McNeese knife I want to buy, I want to get a PM Mac 2 3.5. I got a chance to check out my buddy Jason's, aka Knife Dope. Shout out to Knife Dope. I checked out his PM Mac 2 3-inch and I liked it, but I wanted to check out the bigger variant. I really like the way that they do that framed in frag pattern milling. I think that it looks great. Gotta try that. Super nice carry. Thank you, Carlos. Frankie Cheech says he's in the Syracuse. Wow. Is that, you're actually in front of the shut down Crucible Industries building? Damn. And he's got the special edition Crucible Industries special edition Spyderco Paramilitary 2 in DLC and Magna Cut with this exclusive red G10 scales, red and black G10 scales. Very cool. B Devious, what does he got? He's got a EMP EDC. Which one is that? I've never actually. Well, no, maybe I have handled it. I know that this one's the relative. This one on the side here is the EMP EDC relative. I should know what this one is because it's a variant of their most popular model. But of course, you know, later in the evening is when I have brain farts, so. Which one is it? Which one is it, B? Every man's pocket. EMP EDC. Nimble. That's what it is. I knew that. It's the Nimble. One Sneaky B. He's got the Machine Wise Sonora. Check out that new milling style. Every time I see this, like, I want the diamond pattern on the Sonora that I'm going to eventually buy. But I also really like this pattern as well. Gosh, it's kind of like a corduroy pattern. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so involved. It's gorgeous. Love it, man. Absolutely love it. The Sonora is on my short list. Jim Cox, he's got the concept, or that's a concept Orlock, right? It's not the Nahal. I believe that's the Orlock. I'm pretty sure we looked at one already today. That's a cool knife. That was one that someone had actually requested me to check out, was the Concept Orlock when it dropped. And I completely dropped the ball on reaching out to Concept to see if I could do one for review. Damn it. Fred the Lug, he's got, let's see. He's got the Shark Nivco Waka. Man, he made it easy for me today, didn't he? He's got the Shark Nivco Waka, the American Mini Ultimatum. Such a freaking cool knife. The American Mini Ultimatum. I want a custom version of this. I want the American Mini Ultimatum, but I want a custom USA made version. The customs are also sick. He's got the Pena Lux custom, Peter Recenti Snafu, the Curtis F3 medium. That's cool. Curtis Customs also makes some cool knives. I got a long time ago. I checked out it's an F3 medium slicer as well, kind of similar to this one actually, and I liked it. The one that I checked out had a little bit of lock rock. My understanding is that Curtis Customs has fixed that, and that they are no longer shipping out knives that have that. I kind of want to buy one. I kind of want to buy a new F3. It's one of those knives that I do not want to buy used, because I want to make sure that if they did fix it, I get one of the new models that doesn't have the lock rock. Fred, if you're in the chat, man, let me know. Does your F3 medium, does that have lock rock? The one that I reviewed did, and I know that it used to be a common issue, but I want to say I'm 75% certain that they fixed it and that they no longer have that issue. And he's got a Walter Wells one-off. Never seen that one before. Super cool. Oh, and this one over here on the side, it's got an RH Tasca V2. That's cool. The Tasca knives are really cool. Love it, man. Thanks for sharing. And right now he's freaking tri-stashes. Everyone's got tri-stash. I get it. I get it. You guys love those stashes. The Stash V2, very nice. Very, very nice. I forget what this one's called. It's a bestech knife. We've mentioned it before, but I do forget what it's called. Mark P, of course, he's got the ProTech TR3 Integrity, right? That's the Integrity, not the Auto. That's the manual. I believe so. Ian, no surprise here. Try Stash V2. And Bobtism with, which one is that? Which benchmade is that? I'm not a big benchmade guy. It's a very recognizable design. I feel like I should know what that is. It's not a Claymore, is it? Is it a benchmade Claymore? I guess we're going to find out. That's my guess. Benchmade Claymore. I think I'm wrong. Yeah, that's not a Claymore. Because this is a Claymore. If that's a Claymore, it would be an old one. Yeah, because this is a Claymore. This one, I don't think that's a Claymore. I have failed you. Guys, thank you for participating in the Pocket Check. If you want to know how you can have your Pocket Check featured in the live stream, become a channel member. Channel members get access to the Only Spartans Discord, where you can share your Pocket Check, and I will feature them in the live stream. If you didn't know, now you know. Thank you, guys. Top Dog says, I need to get a Sage 6, but missed the S90V. Will wait for more sprint runs. I think you can actually still get an S90V variant. Hold on. We're going back to the screen share. Sage 6 S90V. Was it NC Blade? NC Blade. Sage 6. Nope. Sold out there too. Dang it. Sage 6 S90V. I swear I've seen these available recently, like within the last week. Nope, not there either. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Oh, wait. Maybe it was on Blade Runner Outpost. Nope, wasn't there either. Was it Blade Ops? Does Blade Ops have some of these? I haven't checked out the Blade Ops website in a long time. Sage 6. I mean, it's their definition page. Nope, out of stock. All right, I'm gonna throw in the towel. I'm gonna throw in the towel. We're gonna say that they're just out of stock. I wouldn't be surprised or shocked to find out that there are still some available out there. I'm just not sure what website would have it. Yeah, I swear I've seen them recently, but maybe they released and sold out again. I'm not sure. I know that the chat has gotten away from me, so I'm going to do my best to try to catch up here. Fred says that is a custom mini ultimatum. Oh, really? That is a custom? Damn. Man, his Kurt American's custom work looks perfect. Like that looks like, because honestly, like just looking at that, I couldn't tell the difference between that and one of the production versions. American Mini Ultimatum. Are these still out there? I got a chance to check out one of these that was loaned to me. Yeah, they're still out there. The one that I checked out was like this. I just want to see real quick. So obviously this one has the bolster overlay, but that's not necessarily an indicator that that is, you know, because they also did variants with the full. I just want to see real quick. How could I tell? Oh, you know what? Well, maybe not. That the hardware could just be in the middle on that one, just because it, you know, the overlay or the inlay. There was one, Patriot Knife Works, I want to say is where I saw it. Patriot Knife Works. This is a website that I haven't visited a whole lot, but I know that it exists. And the American Mini Ultimatum. I think they might be sold out here now, but they had a specific variant, like an exclusive variant. Ultimatum. Yeah, they're sold out here now. They had a variant that was on sale that didn't have the overlay, and it was really, really, really cool. And I almost bought it a number of times, but I just missed out by the skin of my teeth multiple times. That's cool though, man. That is a custom American Mini Ultimatum. I'm not sure how I could tell the difference because his custom work looks like everyone else's production work. But I believe you because I know you've got a crazy custom collection. That is freaking sick. I'm afraid to ask how much you spent on that because I know that Kurt's work is not cheap. I'm also drooling over that Sharknivko Waka. So good. So many good knives on here. And you said this one's a Peter Recenti snafu. So I'm guessing this isn't the CKF snafu, right? This is probably a custom Peter Recenti as well. Am I right? What a flex. What a flex. Nailed it. It's then the haul is a crossbar. Fair. What's up, Bless? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Guys, the chat has officially gotten away from me. Fred says, I have a handmade American Mini Ultimatum, a Mac Mini Ultimatum, and a Magnafold Mini Ultimatum. Damn, you've got the whole American... You got the whole American Mini Ultimatum lineup, it sounds like. Ian says, Roll has 9 minutes to rein in the chat. When did the countdown start? When did it start? Bobtism says, got the Sage 6 in the pocket as well. Such a good freaking knife. Love the Sage 6. I'm waiting for my titanium scales. I need one with titanium scales. I have decided. Tori Casey, good to see you, man. He says, I've been cutting boxes with my Rex 121 Sage 5 for a year. Still haven't sharpened it. Crazy. Oh, man. It says, I remember a simpler time when screen share failed frequently for roll. Yeah. All right. I'm doing what I never do, and that's, scroll up. I've missed a ton of chats, guys, so I apologize. Hey, what's up, Mark? Good to see you, man. He says, why don't you have regular titanium clips in the poll? You mean like, when you say regular titanium clips, you mean like what they have on, where did I put it? Got too many knives on my desk. You mean like what they have here, like a TRM bent clip? Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't add it. Speaking of the poll, I asked the audience the question, which do you prefer, wire clips, milled clips, or I like rocks? All while completely ignoring the people that prefer clips like this. The bent and or stamped titanium clips. Anyways, 14% of the chat said wire clips, 59% of the chat said milled clips, and 27% of the chat said I like rocks.
I'm not retarded, but I like rocks.
I mean, I'd say that the chat has spoken. 65 votes. There's only 58 people in here now, so we've lost some people. 60% now say milled clips. Guys, I'm going to throw in the towel on this one. I think it's safe to say that people prefer milled clips over wire clips. Thank you for participating. And if you have any ideas what you'd like the next poll to be for, make sure to let me know in the chat. All right. I'm just going to scroll down to the very bottom of the chat and be caught up. How about that? Tori says, love my Sage 6. Put Sage 5 hardware bronze and a Lynch on it. Top 10 knife for me. I could see that, man. Sage 6 is one of those knives where, it's not, especially this one with the S90V, it's not necessarily like the most flashy knife ever, but the way that the lock works with the smock lock, the action on here is perfect because it's a bushing action with bronze washers. This is the same kind of pivot setup, or at least a very similar pivot setup that you see on a lot of balisongs. And for those who have experienced balisongs are incredibly smooth and controlled. Like a lot of people say, oh, I don't like washers. I don't like phosphor bronze washers because I prefer the drop shut action, of bearings. Here it is on washers with the smock compression lock, the smock lock, and that bushing washer setup. Look at this. Just watch it one time. That's drop shut, guys. Spyderco needs to do this same pivot setup on all of their washer knives like yesterday. This is quite simply super smooth, floaty. Love it, man. Freaking love it. And it's got a good detent on it too. Did I remove the second detent? Did I remove the second detent ball? Absolutely. There are a few people. I did my Sage 6 video and there were a few people that said, oh no, it's way better with the second detent ball. False. Freaking false. If you get a Sage 6, remove the second detent. It's a nanny detent. You don't need it. You do not need it. Now, some people have said, well, it's so that if you accidentally depress the button when you're ham fisting your knife like this, like who the hell holds their knife like this? I have to hold this knife in an awkward position to accidentally press this button. And even then I can't do it. Like I'm physically trying to ham fist this to the point where I could actually accidentally do that. And I can't. Like I can press it down just enough to loosen it a little bit, but I can't, right? And so some people are like, well, it's there to make sure that if you accidentally depress the button while you're holding it, that, it doesn't swing shut on your hand. Obviously, that's not an issue. And some people, it's not like the double detent on a Roosevelt. I'll say that. The double detent on a Roosevelt serves the purpose of improving the detent crispiness and the action. On a Sage 6 and on a Spyderco Smock, it does not serve that purpose. It's there specifically so that when you press the button, it doesn't swing shut. And so that's what it's there for. It's there to make it hard for legislators to call it a gravity knife, because gravity knives are still very illegal in many places. That's the reason why it's there. That's what Kevin Smock has told me. He has verified that. The second detent is not part of his original design, and on his personal knives that have the Smock lock, he does not have a second detent. So, Kevin Smock, person who designed the Smock lock, or at least added a metal bar to it and make it a button actuated compression lock. If he doesn't have one, I'm not going to have one either. Love that decision. Perfect action, perfect detent. I could fidget with that all freaking day. Love it. All right. Cat Scratch, what's up, man? He says pivot bushing plus washer is the gold standard is in the ballast song world. Yeah, I've got a few ballast songs. I'm just not very good at it. Oh, man. Welcome into Josh 304. Good to see you, man. Ian says roll set an hour and an hour and a half, and we're at an hour and a half. Why are you giving me the time length? What I said was I end these live streams when I end these live streams. I don't have a plan for how long we're going to go. I just don't. What's up, Dolomite? He says, oh, that's somebody's conversation. Anyways, says, I think it's just hit or miss with the Taipan. Got the same version Neve showed. Okay. Yeah, I have no clue where we're at in that conversation. What's up, Palmer? Says, I like a good wire clip. Some people do. Some people do. Good to see you, Grateful Dong. I think we already said hi. We'll say hi again. Says, people that don't like washers have never handled a blessed knife. Look, at first I was one of those people. Who just didn't like washers versus bearings. I preferred the action of bearings. The more knives I started handling, the more and more I got to appreciate good washer action. Like the constant feel of the gliding materials between the pivots and the stock of the knife. It's one of those things that I truly enjoy. The benefit of a bushing system is that it helps decrease play, so it increases the stability of the pivot overall. It makes it more free floating, more drop shut. It's really hard to describe just how much smoother a bushing pivot washer setup is than just regular washers. Like, I don't have any issue with the action on any of my Spyderco Para 3s. Like, what the hell? I've got one right here. Right? Super smooth action. Yeah. It feels markedly different than the action on the Sage 6. Like, they're both good, but if one is 1A, the other one's just 1, you know? The action on the pivot bushing is way better, in my opinion, than the action on just the regular washer setup. Nate says the S90V Sage 6 also has full carbon fiber scales on liners, but the S30V version has peel ply carbon fiber on G10. Yeah. True. They both have peel ply. The difference is what's underneath that peel ply. So, like what Nate said, on this one, it's full carbon fiber underneath the peel ply. On the G10 version, or excuse me, on the S30V version, it's G10. Fred says, Rollshambo, can you make a video how to remove the second detent ball on the Sage 6/Smock? I don't need to. I don't need to, because if you take your Smock apart, or if you take your Sage 6 apart, that second detent ball will yeet itself right out of your blade immediately. In fact, it would probably be Fred, it would probably be easier to make a video on how to keep it in when you take your knife apart, because what happens is, I don't have it here, I just cleaned up my desk. In the blade of the Sage 6 and the Spyderco smock, that second detent is pressed between a spring and the blade. So there's this free floating spring that pushes that secondary detent ball against the blade, and it's always in contact with the blade. That's how they halt the momentum of the knife so that it doesn't swing shut when you release the lock, right? That's how I call it the nanny detent. So when you take one of the handle scales off, that spring that's holding it against the blade is going to rocket the second detent ball out. It is hard to take apart a smock or a Sage 6 and not lose the second detent ball. So for what it's worth, if you want to take it off, all you got to do is disassemble the knife. It will remove itself 100%. No video needed. Just take apart your smock. I promise you, if you don't want the second detent ball, it will be gone, son. Says, oh, I know how to do it. I just thought it would be a good vid since you were recommending it. For sure. I mean, it would be a short video. How to remove the second detent ball on a smock. Take this, like, you remove one scale and it disappears itself. I laugh because like a lot of people will lose that second detent ball on accident and actually not want to lose it. The hardest thing is taking the knife apart and not losing it, because it's a tiny little like, you know this, I know you have one, but like for everyone who doesn't know, it's a tiny little detent ball held in by a free floating spring. So the trick is not removing it. The trick is not losing it if you want to keep it. That might be a good video. That might be a good video of how do how to take apart the smock or the Sage 6 and keep your second detent ball, because some people do actually appreciate that. All right. Oh, you know what? I think we've got another pocket check or two in here. Here we go. Double D. Another Tri-Stash V2. Dang, you guys are loving those Tri-Stashes. KnifeNet69 says, good luck, Roll. Good luck? That's an Olamic cutlery whippersnapper. Says, oh, forgot about the model name. Whippersnapper. I know what that is, because that's a knife that Nick Shabazz showed all the time. Nick Shabazz is a huge supporter of Olamic cutlery. Before I had a channel, I watched a lot of his content, and he was always talking about Olamic cutlery. So it's been on my list for a while. I don't know what happened to Olamic. I feel like they fell in popularity, but I don't know why. One of these days, I'll come across the right opportunity to own one. He says, damn it, forgot about the COA. I was going to get it anyways, I promise you. Fred says, I sent a DM on Discord with a special knife just for you. Oh, really? Exit out of the screen share there for a second. Because I'm not sure, like when I check DMs, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to show these or not. Ooh, that's really cool. Ooh. I'm sorry, Fred, I can't not share this because damn, that's hot. Look at that. That's one of his custom American mini ultimatums. Look at that. Freaking beautiful Damascus on that blade. Freaking gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the blade shape. I love the sawtooth ridge back milling on the spine of the blade. That's absolutely phenomenal. It is a super cool blade shape. It's not going to be for everybody. It's absolutely not going to be for everybody, but it is really cool. I love the one that I borrowed. I borrowed a production variant. All right, that's good. That's good because I did end up showing it. Eve Lee says, looks like a Hellhound blade. I don't know if I go that far. Microtech Hellhound. At least I think we're talking about the Microtech Hellhound blade. Like, I mean, this is also a sawtooth pattern here on the spine of the blade for Microtech's Hellhound Tanto. This is, in fact, my favorite blade shape from Microtech, and it always has been ever since I first laid eyes on it. Gorgeous, aggressive Tanto blade shape. So you have to give them credit for that. But I will say, I don't see the similarity personally. Evil E, what's up, man? Good to see you. All right, guys. All right. So, I mentioned before, these live streams go for however long I feel like they should go. Sometimes that's an hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes that's an hour and a half. Sometimes that's 2 hours. Sometimes, in this case, it's an hour and 40 minutes. But we are, in fact, drawing to the end of the live stream. So I want to say thank you to everybody who showed up tonight for tonight's live. It was definitely a fun one. I enjoyed it. What do I have going on? What's coming up next on the channel? I understand I haven't released any new content in like 4 or 5 days, which is blasphemy. How dare a Knife and EDC channel not upload 2 videos a day? I don't do that. That's not my brand. That's not my brand. The reason why I haven't uploaded anything recently is because I am currently working on my next Steel Snobs episode. I'm halfway through editing it. So if you like the Steel Snobs content where I talk about all things metallurgy and I do comparisons on the knife steels and I talk about the stories behind them, if you enjoy that content from me and you've been missing it, the good news is that within the next couple of days, the next 2 or 3 days, I will be releasing my next Steel Snobs episode on CPM 15V, which is an amazing steel. I'm happy to talk about it at length. So that's what's coming up next. Keep your eyes peeled for that. I want to get it out as soon as I can. I also don't want to rush it because I want it to be quality content that I can be proud of. Because even if the content absolutely flops, I want it to be good so that I can feel proud of it. And so far I am. So far I'm really proud of it. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I've got review content coming up after that on this guy. This is a fixed blade I cannot keep out of my pocket. That is the Transparent Knives Doodle. And I've got some knives on the way for some regular reviews after that. So keep your eyes peeled. More stuff on the horizon. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. The next live stream will be Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain, which is 9 p.m. Central or 7 p.m. Pacific. If you want to hang out and chat, you can find me in the Only Spartans Discord. For everyone over there, I'll see you soon. And for everybody else, we'll catch you on Saturday.